This is our RFID attendance taker by Jarren, Jake Carrico, and Greg Lamping. This will take the attendance of students by them either entering their ID number or scanning their card. It will then say how many classes they attended and the date of last attendance. For an example, we begin with a blue light. That's showing that we are in constructor mode. In this mode, you may enter the date, so 05/01/2018 for today's date, and then you will press the pound sign for enter. This will then change to a green light. This is showing that you are in student mode. This is where they can scan either their student ID or enter their ID number. So if we are just to enter a 9-digit number, 9765012 or any length of digits, and then press the pound sign. Okay, expanding upon what we just showed you, we can now enter all ones in student mode, and this will show you all the entries that have happened, their student ID, the last day of attendance, and the number of classes attended. You can also enter all twos, and this will show you how many entries you have in the list and how many you have remaining because of the limitations of the memory. Expanding upon what we just showed you, you can also enter in the ID again, and it will not update what you have entered. So let's enter 976501250, and then if we press all ones, it will just not look at that at all. It won't add to the number of classes attended or update the last day attended. But if we enter in a new student ID, and let's say you messed up entering your student ID, you can hit the asterisk as many times as you need to go back, and then just change that number or change all the numbers you need to change. And then again, when it flashes red, it's a new entry. When it just stays green, it's an entry that's already been entered in before. You can then enter all ones, and it will show you all the entries that you've had. We will now press the reset button, which will send it back to constructor mode. We will enter in a new date, so let's say 05/02/2018, and then press pound sign. Now we can enter in student IDs we've either entered before or not entered before. So let's say we enter in 122587226, which we've already entered before, and then a number that we haven't entered before. Now if we press all ones, it will update the number of classes for the student with the ID starting with 122, and then it will also update the last day attended for them. It will also add the new student ID number that's been entered that hasn't seen before, and show that they last attended on the 2nd, and then it will also show that they've only attended one class. Okay, we will now reset again. This sends us back to constructor mode. And now we want to reset the memory from what we have already. So we will enter in all zeros until it goes to red. And then now it gives you a choice, either type 0 to not reset the memory, no, it's a mistake, or type 1 to reset the memory. So we want to reset the memory. Now it goes back to constructor mode. Now if we enter back in a date, and now press all ones, there's no student entries in there. So after we have reset the memory, we enter the date, which we did before. Press the pound sign. we are in student mode. When in student mode, we can use the RFID reader to read a compatible RFID card, like the one shown below, and this will take attendance for the students. So if we scan it, it shows that their ID number and the date. So if we press ones, it will take attendance for them too. So since we use the LED to show when we're in constructor mode or student mode and it flashes whenever we enter in the number, this device is portable. So we don't even need the computer for it. We can use an external powered device. So if we enter in the date, enter, we're in student mode, and each time we enter a number it flashes so we know when a number is entered or not. So if you accidentally hit a number, you can still hit back and then continue on. This showed that a new student was entered. You can do it multiple times. And this is storing all these entries into the memory. And then we can reset, enter a new date, and then we can enter in a student. And then we can then connect the device to the computer and see the memory that it had shown.
So to begin with our code, we'll talk about each individual C file and then head over to the main function. So first we have the get key press file, and the main function in this is the get key press, and whenever a key is pressed, it will return a char depending on which key was pressed. Next we have our initialization ports required for the keypad. Next we have the sensor which initializes the ADC and the UART, and this is required for the RFID sensor. In addition, we have another function called UARTPRINTL, which prints a 32-bit number. In the flash memory file, we have initialization of flash memory, as well as some other functions such as search for an existing student log, as well as log a student. And this log function will search for an existing student, and then if that exists, it will edit that log, and if not, it will create a new log. And this final function will print all existing logs on the flash memory. Finally, we have our main file. First, it will print the logo of our class attendance tracker. Next, it runs forever in a while loop, and it will first clear the entered ID number. Next, it will check to see if a date has been written. If not, it will blink blue to indicate a instructor mode, and it will blink green if it is in student mode. Next, it gets the key presses and gets the string in which you entered, and afterwards, if you were entering in a date, it will either record the date, or if you entered all zeros, give you the option to erase the EEPROM. Otherwise, you were in student mode, so if you enter all ones, it will print the logs, and if you enter all twos, it will print the status of the memory. Otherwise, you entered this in a student ID number, and it will log the student ID number. Green if it was an existing student, and red if it was a new student.